In a bamboo forest called Sweet Hollow, where green stalks swayed and the wind rustled like whispers, animals from all corners gathered each year for the Golden Spoon dessert competition. It was more than just a contest, it was tradition. Bean, a round red panda with a flowery nose and a too-tight apron, had a love for anything red. Red berries, red apples, and even the spicy peppers he once tried on a dare and secretly liked. He had entered every year with his family's famous red bean buns. His grandfather had once won the Golden Spoon, and Bean had spent his whole life trying to win it too. Not for glory, but to feel close to the past. T, a bright green bunny with leaf-shaped ears and mismatched socks, had never entered before. She had no family recipes, no golden spoons, just a notebook filled with strange ideas. Cloudberry syrup, dandelion dust, carrot cream. Some were tasty, some were not. Bean worked alone. He measured carefully. He folded his batter just like the recipe said. T worked alone too. She hummed. She guessed. She made messes. She tried to bake feelings. But this year, something felt different. Bean sat in his kitchen, staring at his perfect red bean buns. "They're right," he muttered, "just like Grandpa made them." He took a bite. It tasted fine, but not like winning, not like him. He looked around at his tidy counter. Every spoon lined up. "Why do I feel so far away from him?" he whispered. "Is it still his recipe if it doesn't feel like love?" T sat in her little kitchen, nestled among the bamboo roots, surrounded by scraps of failed treats. "Why do they all taste like trying too hard?" she whispered. "I want something that feels like home. But what does that even taste like?" She flipped through her recipe notebook. Every page was wild, messy, full of guesses. Her ears drooped. "Maybe I don't belong in a place like this," she mumbled. The next morning, both headed for the Golden Spoon dessert competition. Bean carried his quiet tray of buns. T carried a basket and 100 wild ideas. Their paths crossed under a giant redwood tree. A squirrel knocked down a branch. Bean ducked. T jumped. Crash! Their basket spilled. Leaves and buns. Syrup and paste. "Oh no!" T gasped, licking frosting off her paw. Bean sighed. "That was my last batch." They looked at the mess. Bits of red bean paste clung to matcha-soaked leaves. It was sticky. It was soft. It looked like mochi. And something strange happened. T sniffed. "That smells kinda good." Bean raised an eyebrow. "That's your syrup in my red bean paste." They both tasted it, then stared. T said, "What if no? Never mind." "What?" said Bean. T looked at the bamboo-covered ground. "What if we tried baking together?" Bean blinked. "I've never shared this recipe with anyone." T shrugged. "I've never had one to share." There was a pause. Then Bean said, "Okay, but no mint pea cookies." So, under the giant redwood tree, they began to work. Bean taught T how to fold carefully. T showed Bean how to add flavor with feeling. They mashed and whisked. Bean measured. T guessed. They argued, they laughed, they listened. But just before they were done, Bean hesitated. "This isn't what Grandpa made," he said, his whisk slowing. "What if I forget how it's supposed to taste. T looked at him. You won't forget. You're just making room for something new. He blinked, then smiled, just a little. And just before they shaped the last mochi, T paused. Wait, she said. Are you sure we should do this? What if it's too weird? Bean chuckled. Probably. But weird might be wonderful. They finished in silence, the giant redwood tree swaying gently above them. When their mochi was ready, they tasted it together. It tastes, said Bean. Like something old and something new, said T. Like something real, said Bean. At the Golden Spoon dessert competition, the judges took one bite, then another, then closed their eyes. They didn't say a word. They simply placed the golden spoon beside the plate. After the crowd cheered, and the bamboo grove echoed with clapping paws and flapping wings, Bean and T sat beneath the giant redwood tree, right where it had all begun. I never thought silly could be smart, said Bean. And I never thought careful could feel kind, said T. They didn't win because they followed a recipe. They won because they wrote a new one together. Red bean matcha mochi. The dessert had a new name in Sweet Hollow, and so did Bean and Tea. The bunny with no recipe. The panda who let go. And the pair who cooked something that finally felt like home. Above them, the giant redwood tree dropped one last leaf into the wind. Just enough old, just enough new,